X. Sorry, I almost forgot what I was going to say.
XXX.
XX. X.
XXX. I don't know what that was.
So yeah, this is a little bit impromptu because I had to do it later because I worked and I had to get off and eat and do human things first before we started. So
when you said you worked and you're wearing that, I'm assuming it was on the street corner?
Yes. How did you know?
Just came to me. I don't know.
It just came to me.
And by the way, while it's still legal, I'm vaping, motherfuckers.
Vape while you can. They can steal my vape, but they can't take my dignity. So, we got a couple of things to talk about today. Going to be a little bit of a shorter show just because it's late and I am a tired lady, but it's okay. We will have fun, and if you want to get any of my photo sets, you can donate to paypal.me/Medusa. And you can also get calendars with me and a bunch of other lovely ladies in the description down below. So yeah, just follow the description stuff. All right, so
let's talk about Daniel Tosh's penis.
Okay. That sounds lovely. So yeah, Daniel Tosh was circumcised on live on television now. He said he was circumcised and he wished that he wasn't because he doesn't know what it feels like among many, 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 many other men in America and other places. But not so much in other places, mostly in America and Western countries. Not even in the UK. They don't really do
actually. This is why I'm telling you to watch that new documentary. There's a circumcision film.
The doctors. Yeah.
Actually, the doctors still encourage it over there. It's kind of strange because it's not widely practiced in the UK, but it still is. And technically, it is against the law there. I don't fully understand it. There's some law in the 1800s about how you cannot cause harm to someone. And by that definition, it's illegal, but no one enforces it.
Yeah, well, I mean, I meant
it's worse in America. I will give you that.
As far as I know, babies aren't circumcised quite as much, at least, because it's generally seen as unnecessary, but it still happens. But so yeah, I'm hoping that America can at least, kind of get on board with not comparing it to female genital mutilation so much because it's not a contest.
Yeah, that's like the most common thing about all of this. It's like, and that was something that the documentary brought up. It's like a lot of feminists will go up to these bloodstained men and be like, it's not even the same thing. Like one MP, which is their politician, said was like, well, the only way that female genital mutilation would be similar to male genital mutilation is if you cut off the head of the penis.
That makes no sense. Female genital mutilation doesn't always cut off the clitoris, and even so, the clitoris has 8,000 nerve endings, while the fucking foreskin has 20,000.
Well, their point, and I do understand this, and maybe I agree just a tiny, tiny, tiny little bit, is that female genital mutilation can cause women to not be able to give birth, can cause complications with birth, which is why in America and the UK that they don't consider male genital mutilation a big issue because it doesn't prevent men from ejaculating.
What does that have to do with anything? I didn't fucking come until I was 21 years old. Well, anyways.
It's because you never had my dick.
Oh my god. I still have orgasms from sex. It doesn't happen. Yeah. Anyways, was there anything else you wanted to touch on that, or can we talk about the subject?
Well, I mean, it's all interconnected with this.
I know. I'm just saying, like, I wanted to. I didn't want to cut you off. But yeah, so Daniel Tosh.0, if you've ever seen it, he is apparently having Brother K, the founder of the Bloodstained Men, on his show for an interview. And I don't know if you guys, if you've seen Dosh and Daniels, if you've seen Daniel Tosh's
penis
show, if you've seen how he interviews people, it's not it's like half serious, half joking most of the time, which of course I honestly think is going to make it hilarious, because we have to joke about stuff that's fucked up to feel better about it, and so it's like, I don't mind when people make circumcision jokes. Obviously, I don't mind when people make rape jokes. I don't mind when people do whatever. But so yeah, he has said that he wish he hadn't been circumcised. And now he's talking to the leader of the Bloodstained Men, which, by the way, I protested with them, not Brother K himself because he was sick, sadly, but I protested with them in the town next to mine, in a busy intersection, and it was fantastic. Like, I never uploaded the footage because I didn't feel like anybody would want to watch it. But it was really fun, and I got to meet a lot of people, and within the movement, and a lot of really angry people that were happy that we were protesting, and a few people that were laughing too. A lot of women called out that they were that all the men had small dicks. You're just mad because you have a small dick. Like, that has nothing to do with being circumcised, but okay. Well,
yeah, I mean, if I was there, it's like, what does that have to do with it?
Right, exactly. Like, what about me? Do I have a small clit? I don't understand. So yeah, he's interviewing them. I've had personal connections with this group. I'm so excited to see them on the fucking show, because, like, oh my god, this is awesome.
You know why I would yell back and be like, yeah, it's pretty small. It's only like 8 inches.
It's only like 12 feet. But, yeah, so
it is exciting.
Yeah, like, this is the first time that I know of, like, that it's, well, actually, no. Someone told me that he did mention it on his own show before, just a little subliminal message or whatever. Like, he dressed up as Bob Ross or something, and then at the very end of the skit, he says, "Don't circumcise." And that's awesome. Like, that's the kind of stuff that I wish I could do if I had my own show. It's like, I highly respect him even more, like, now that I've learned about this, because I'm gonna try my best to watch it live because I don't have cable. Well, we'll see.
Don't circumcise and drive.
What now?
Don't circumcise and drive. Oh
god! Don't circumcise at all, ever, unless it's medically necessary due to medical complications, which is rare.
Well, see, that was something that...
But be careful, because they often take off too much. So if you're going to circumcise yourself, not yourself, but have a doctor circumcise you later in life, just do a little bit. A little goes a long way, okay? That's a lot of skin. Just be careful with your penis.
So that's actually something that I'd like to talk about real quick. So Elizabeth, who's going to be in the Lovely Ladies calendar, was on this documentary. It just came out like a few days ago. And she was talking about that she knew someone that got a circumcision because it was medically necessary. And stated that a few years later, he began to feel that maybe the doctors rushed into that decision, like really pushed him to go that direction.
Really?
And it's like, well, it doesn't surprise me in all honesty, because it's like every child doctor wants to cut off the penis. So it's like, if a doctor is telling you it is medically necessary, I'd go to like 10 different doctors just to make sure.
Yeah. I mean, honestly,
that doesn't grow back.
Exactly. And if they mention anything to do with cleaning, get the fuck out of there, because your son can clean his own penis. You can clean your own penis. Okay. You clean it more if it's like infected or something. If the foreskin is too tight around the head of the penis and it causes it to be inflamed, or you can't ejaculate or even like really feel pleasure because it's painful, that is a legitimate reason to have some of your foreskin reduced. But genitals are so delicate and it is very risky to operate on them. And women get labiaplasty too. That's what it's called, because I wanted it when I was younger because I hated the look of my vagina. It happens to women too, okay?
I love the look of your vagina.
I didn't like that I had extra skin on the bottom of my vagina. Like, okay, not that I have beef curtains. I didn't like, okay, this is gonna be really weird. I hope my mom doesn't watch this. If you know what a clinger is, then you know what I'm talking about. If you don't worry about it or Google it, whatever. But that's what I didn't like about myself. And then I realized that that's not weird. It's just something that I'm being picky about. So why would I want to change that about myself? So yeah. Does it look like spaghetti and snakes? No snakes. I have no snakes down there.
Does it look like Arby's $5 beef and cheese?
I said no! I said it doesn't look like that. All right. So yeah, that's really awesome. And I'm very excited to see what he does with it.
Well, I'm excited too, because generally the only time this is talked about on TV is a news program, and it's usually some leftist bull crap where they just try to cut them off as much as possible and don't really get to talk about anything, or just casually mention it but not really get into it. And Medusa has gone away. Hopefully she comes back.
I said BRB.
Oh, okay.
I'm right here. I'm just adjusting.
She's just adjusting her vagina. But
maybe.
So I kind of feel like this is a major step forward for men's rights. I mean, I know this isn't exactly men's rights, but I think it falls under the manosphere. Definitely for men all around. And yeah, it's a comedy show, but we got to start somewhere. And comedy is the place. Comedy is the place that we need to start in everything. We need to be able to joke about it, because when it becomes humor, people actually start listening to it.
Yeah, and then it's
so sad now that the left is trying to block humor as much as it is. You know, blocking Jerry Seinfeld and Larry the Cable Guy and Milo Yiannopoulos. I mean, I know he's not a comedian, but come on, he's pretty funny. I can't think of Chris Rock. Won't do college campuses anymore. Dave Chappelle just proved that while the media hates him, the rest of us love him. I mean, I didn't laugh at every one of his jokes, but he did say some funny shit. And I think the hating white people's low-hanging fruit, but yeah, he kind of made fun of everyone. So, but it's all about comedy, and that's how we get it into the nomenclature. So this is a good, important step.
Yeah, I agree. So yeah, what did you want to talk about next?
Well, I recently watched a video, and I could only make it through about 5 minutes of it because I wanted to throw my computer. There is a prison inmate. I don't know what prison he's at, but this was covered by CNN. And he is a male feminist, and he is teaching other prisoners about toxic masculinity.
Is he gay?
I don't know. I mean, if he's in prison, then maybe he is. I mean, there is prison gay. But, it's just like listening to him talk. I mean, first he's talking about how when he was younger, he, went to these, he was put into these classrooms for troubled students. And they tried to give him feminist philosophy. And he's like, oh, yeah, I read these books. But then whenever I left class, I'd be with my homies and we'd just be doing whatever shit. And it's like, oh, yeah, it was so effective that you still wound up in jail. Because they were telling them, it's like, if you're in this class, you're most likely going to go to prison. And it's like, oh, it did a lot of good, didn't it? He still wound up in jail.
Wow.
But he's talking to them about, how male behaviors are bad. Like, you're not allowed to cry and you're not allowed to do this or that because that's what toxic male patriarchy does. And I'm like, my first thought was this is perfect for prisoners because prisoners want to blame everyone else for their problems. It's not their fault, it's someone else's. So now this person has given them the patriarchy. Oh, I didn't rape that woman. The patriarchy did. The patriarchy made me do it. Oh, I didn't kill that person over there. The patriarchy made me do it. All this is like saying you're not
so
responsible.
If someone came out saying that.
What's up?
I was just thinking it'd be so funny if someone actually came out saying that after doing a bunch of crimes.
I bet you anything, the moment these guys get out, they'd return back to their old ways. Most prisoners wind up in prison again within 5 years. Mm-hmm. And none of them are going to really take it seriously, but it's just so funny to me that this is a thing. And well, the other thing also about this whole toxic masculinity is like, oh, well, we were told growing up we're not allowed to cry as men, and that's just toxic masculinity. And, maybe it was fathers who did, well, probably not fathers, because most people who wind up in prison come from fatherless homes. But so it's probably other people on the street that told them. But who really enforces these behaviors? Women. And how many women hook up with a thug? Thug culture, they rather date some thug than some good guy that's going to treat them right, or some guy that'll worship the ground they walk on. Instead of going with them, they go with the thug and want a thug to act in a certain way.
Yeah, they can't just be attractive. They have to act in a certain way.
What's up?
They can't just be attractive. They have to act a certain way, or else they won't cut it.
Well, they won't. If they don't act in a certain way, then their woman is going to just sleep with some other thug.
Yeah.
So in that way, it's like survival of the fittest. If you want to hook up with that fine honey over there, you got to be a thug. And most of them grow up in the ghetto. This is the only life they know. But no one's talking to these women saying, hey, have some self-respect for yourself. Do better. Because if all the women went away, men would follow them and act the way they wanted them to be. I mean, I know it's a lot more complex than that, but that's the basic truth of it.
True. Yeah, I mean, toxic masculinity is such a bullshit concept anyways. Especially, oh my god. I just can't believe how many people are talking about it. Like, fucking Gillette and like, not. It's like, of course, toxic femininity isn't a thing, and toxic masculinity is. I mean, it's just. I mean, I'm trying not to segue into our next thing yet, but like, the Gillette commercial saying that men need to be responsible for not raping women, and it's like, well, gee, maybe if a ton of women didn't keep making up stories about people sexually assaulting them, it wouldn't seem like that much of an epidemic. No offense, like, not that it doesn't happen, but I literally know almost, I can't even count how many women that I've heard personally saying that they have told someone that a man has either sexually assaulted them or physically assaulted them just to get out of something or to fuck that person over. And it's absolutely disgusting, and I don't understand why someone would ever do something like that to someone else.
Well, going on that point, I mean, we talk about, it's being said, we need to teach men not to rape. Well, like 80% of male rapists were themselves molested by a female authority figure in their childhood. Mm-hmm. Most often, their mother. So maybe the secret, and follow me here, is we teach women not to rape little boys who will grow up to be rapists.
And who knows, maybe in some sick, twisted way, some of those women think that are taking revenge out on men by doing things to fucking little boys. I can't tell the intentions of anyone, but who knows? I'm sure there's some woman out there that has been like, well, it has happened before. There have been movies that portray women who have children, and they're so angry that they had this child and that it's a man, and that everything manly about them reminds them of their dad that they hate. And it's like, chill the fuck out, bitch. Take a psych pill. Like, I don't know.
It does happen what you're describing, but that's not the main cause of it.
I know. I'm just saying that it does happen because fucking it's just sad, all of it.
The most common reason is a lot worse.
Oh.
It's because women have power.
Well, yeah.
They have power over a defenseless human being and can do whatever they want.
Well, feminists say that all the time.
It's a good thing.
That rape is about power. So, who has more power than a woman over a little boy who's literally never going to say anything?
Especially when it's a mother.
Exactly.
You're talking from a young age. You don't just support your mother.
How are they going to know if that's not what's best for them? Because their mom says so, Excuse me. Don't forget that white girls also fuck dogs. I'd never forget that.
Well, toxic masculinity, that's interesting. The whole toxic masculinity conversation, I've had some feminist friends talk about this, and usually I say, let's not talk about this because I'll just end up yelling at you. But, the conversation I really want to have with a feminist is, well, isn't it true that women can do the same awful behaviors as men? And wouldn't that mean that there's such a thing as toxic femininity? And if there's a thing called toxic femininity and toxic masculinity, then how about we take out the gender part and just call it toxic people? Both genders can be very toxic.
Yeah, exactly.
Because people in general can be toxic.
Yeah. That's what Meryl Streep said. She was like, I don't know why they're labeling it toxic masculinity when people in general, anyone can be toxic.
Yeah.
Anyone.
Well, but I do think that there is toxic masculinity out there, but not the way the feminists describe.
Mm-mm.
And I actually refer back to Paul Elam's newest book. I had the chance to read it because I formatted it for an ebook. And, I just started reading it as well. And, the thing he talks about with toxic masculinity is that, the guys that will do anything for a woman, no matter what. It's like a woman goes up to him, it's like, that man, he hit on me. You should go beat him up. And he beats up this other man without once questioning if he actually did it or not. That they'll bow down. I can't even say the word. They will just do whatever a woman wants them to do. They have to protect them. And will turn against other men in order to do that. And that is toxic male behavior. Instead of thinking for themselves, instead of asking questions, trying to get to the truth of the matter, they'll just do whatever a woman wants them to do.
Yeah.
And turns out they're most likely to get a divorce. Because they're like the alpha males. They'll, it's women who create this ladies' man. It's not us. I mean, most of us really don't even want to be a ladies' man. We just want to find a girlfriend and be happy. But the stud, if you will, is created entirely by women. And these men will sacrifice every other man if it means he gets laid. And that is toxic masculinity.
Yeah. It was giving you a little fanfare.
What's up?
Your phone was cheering you on.
Okay.
All men want their cummies. That's
And I don't blame the Jews for women thinking they're people. I blame the Egyptians, primarily Nefertiti. Who put a woman in charge? I'm asking you.
Nefertiti. Nefertiti?
I neffed her titty.
Don't F my titty. Alright. So, speaking of toxic masculinity, if you haven't heard, I didn't hear anything about this stupid movie or whatever he's doing, but I saw an article about Brad Pitt, which I'm not like a huge fan of Brad Pitt. I liked him in Fight Club and like 7, I guess, and that was pretty much it. But now he's making a movie called Ad Astra, which sounds kind of gay, so I probably won't watch it. And apparently it includes, or it touches on toxic masculinity, according to Brad Pitt himself. And I can look up the entire quote. I don't feel like it right now, but he says something about men needing to be more vulnerable. What does that have to do with toxic masculinity? Are you saying, that's what I don't understand. What exactly is toxic masculinity? Is it only when men are violent and rapists? Or is it the entire macho, I don't know what to call it. The everything about being macho, is that all of that toxic masculinity, and they need to be more feminine in order to not be toxic? That's what I don't understand about their definition of toxic masculinity. Because I agree with you about they're being a toxic kind of masculinity. I don't know why they even call it that. I would say it's toxic, like, or not. I wouldn't even call it toxic. I would say like unnecessarily overcharged testosterone or something like that. Like, and it's not even just the testosterone, but in severe cases, like, men can lose control with their anger, but so can women. But like, I can kind of understand in some ways that there could be toxic masculinity, but I still don't understand where they're coming from.
It's a paradox.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, it's women claiming that men need to be more in touch with their feelings. But something I learned a long time ago, there's a difference between what women say they want and what they actually want. They say they want a more sensitive guy who's more in touch with his emotions. But what they end up dating is guys that will abuse them and treat them like shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, anytime we talk about our issues and about the things we face, we're told to man up or stop crying, drinking a cup of male tears.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like, you want us to do these things, but then when we do them, you hate us for it. Yeah. Because in the end, what it is really all about is that men are supposed to take a step back and let women in control. Let women do everything. Yeah. Well, I hate to break it to you, but if women were really the superior sex, if they were really supposed to be better than us, then they wouldn't need us to step aside and let them take control. They would grab us by the fucking cojones and fucking do it. And if they can't do it, then that means they shouldn't be in charge. Now, I'm not saying that, it must be a patriarchy. It must be men doing everything. It's men and women working together. That's what our society has always been.
Yep.
But, you know, there's just these feminists out there. It's like, well, you know, if we were in charge, everything would be better. Then take fucking charge.
Exactly.
You're already doing it. You're already changing everything and everyone. And guess what? Everyone is sick of it. And then you still sit there and complain that we men are the problem. No, the problem is you don't know how to do shit.
If all the men in the world disappeared, the world would crumble in less than an hour.
Less than an hour. Yeah, about right. Well, you know, it was Janet Bloomfield who said that, you know, if men decided to take a day off, just one day, every single man around the world, it would take us months to recover because of all of the things that men have to do to make sure our society runs. Mm-hmm. And it's just way too much to list. But, you know, men are doing some of the most dangerous jobs out there, mm-hmm. for starters. And it's just like, yeah. And men basically do a thankless job of making sure this society runs. And their reward is you messed everything up.
Exactly.
Fuck. And you know what? I'll recognize that a woman invented Wi-Fi. But it was a man who invented a computer. And I'm not trying to compete here. I'm not trying to say men are better. But why is it in recognizing the accomplishments of women, we have to erase the accomplishments of men?
Yeah.
And it's funny to me, still, we've had Ghostbusters, we've had Ocean's 11, we've had female Thor, and time again, the saying remains true. Go woke, go broke. If you try to be this progressive bullshit, you're going to end up doing poorly. And Brad Pitt, of all people, yeah. I mean, he gets a divorce from Angelina Jolie, and she tells the press that he's abusive to the children, which I don't believe is true. Primarily because women are known to lie about these kinds of things. And second, no evidence has been demonstrated that he is abusive. And yet he goes through all of that and he can turn around and do a movie like, this is about toxic masculinity. Well, I got news for you. If someone accused you of being an abusive person, then you're guilty of toxic masculinity. Because that's how it works. I can only imagine he's doing this to try to win back some people who thinks he's a child abuser.
Yeah, who knows? Or maybe he's trying to get on par with the millennials. I don't even know anymore.
Well, it's like everyone in Hollywood is just doing this bullshit of, we want to show that we're on the side of women. We want to show that, you know, we want to do this, this, and this. And it's like, half of you are pedophiles. Why are you on the side of women when you yourselves are basically abusing everyone for your own selfish gain? I mean, Robert De Niro is charged with molesting children, but nope, it's okay. He's gay.
What? I didn't hear anything about that.
It happened a while ago, but
what?
Yeah, charges came up that, you know, he sexually abused minors, and he then said he was gay.
All right. Whatever floats your boat, man. Not kids, though. Don't fuck kids. Don't float that boat.
Yeah, wait until they're 29, then you can fuck them.
Angelina Jolie diddles her own kid.
Well, kids, but I think they're all from Africa.
I mean, projection is a real thing.
Yeah, I kind of got... I've never liked Angelina Jolie. I mean, I saw Hackers, and that was like where it stopped for me. I love that movie, but then after that, it's just like I never liked her. And I can see her being an abusive bitch. And I'm biased. I'll admit that.
Yeah.
I don't like her, so yeah, maybe I assume the worst about her. But I just don't see Brad Pitt doing that. So, you know, maybe she's accusing him of what she does because she wants to keep the children. But I don't know anything about her molesting her own children.
Yeah. Just speculation.
There's speculation that they all do. I mean, that's kind of the problem. I mean, there was Corey Feldman and Corey Haim who both stated that when they were children in Hollywood, that they went to a party where a lot of big media, a lot of big wigs in Hollywood raped them and other children.
Wait, who did?
This was Corey Feldman and Corey Haim. They were two child actors who starred in a lot of movies in the 80s.
Yeah.
And they came out and said that they were molested by a lot of people in Hollywood, and no one believed them.
Wow.
I mean, we talk about the Me Too movement. We talk about toxic masculinity. And here we have two men talking about something that happened to them, that they were raped, and no one believed them. In fact, I believe it was, one of them, I forget which one, killed themselves as a result.
Yeah. Wait. One of the ones you were just talking about?
Yeah, it was one of those two killed themselves because of the abuse they suffered.
Man.
Do I think Michael Jackson is innocent or was innocent? I don't know. Honestly, my first inclination is to say no, I don't think he was innocent. I think he was guilty. So but I think the biggest criminals of all was the parents who knowingly let their children stay with him.
Me too.
A piece of the fame Michael Jackson had. No one talks about them.
Exactly.
Oh, there was a Law and Order episode based on that. I think it was an SVU episode where it was found out that the parents were paid like $10,000 to knowingly have this superstar rape their child.
Oh my God.
So I do think Michael Jackson did it. I could be wrong, but you know.
Honestly, when I was listening to the stories of the men who were talking about it on the documentary or whatever, I mean, I believe them because, like, the way that they describe the relationship and just how they said that he tried to kind of gain their trust, you know, and make them think that they were in love and stuff like that, and that it was okay. Like, all of that, all of those are very, like, specific tactics that predators use that, like, I don't know, it was just really interesting to hear that, because you don't hear personal stuff like that too often, as far as I'm concerned.
But I do still laugh at Dave Chappelle when he's talking about the whole thing, because he doesn't think that it happened. And he's like, you know, I'm not a pedophile, but if I were, I totally would have slept with Macaulay Culkin. Because apparently he said that, you know, he hung out with him a lot and it never happened.
Okay, I have to take this off because I am burning up.
Yes, please take it off. We'll just be right here.
We'll probably only go for like another like 15 minutes or so, but I need to take this off. I'll be right back.
No!
All right.
Yeah, YouTube would shut down her channel just like that if she took off her clothes. So, sorry. Blame YouTube. However, on DTube, we could do it. Now, if only they'd get their shit together and make it a passable system. I'm hoping DTube actually comes to replace YouTube, because it uses a cryptocurrency. What's that called? Blockchain technology to have videos. So technically, nothing can ever be censored off of their stuff, but it can be downvoted. Curse you, YouTube. Ben from Gulf City. Switch the stream to Brazers. Oh, that'd be fun. But, you know, as far as like Robert De Niro and what is that guy's name? I can never remember. He was in now I can't American Beauty or whatever. Seven. Anyways, I think they're both guilty, because as soon as the charges came, they said that they were gay, so it was okay. But, you know, George Takei, he also basically admitted that he slept with children. And no one batted an eye at that. I just had Paul Elam comment on a comment I had. It was actually about that video about the guy teaching about toxic masculinity, and he's like, a conversation in prison would be better focused on single mothers. Yeah, that's what we're saying there, is like, you know, most people who wind up in prison come from fatherless homes. That you're statistically more likely to end up in prison if you were raised by a single mother. Unfortunately, there's just not a lot of information about single fathers. It just doesn't happen that often, but so I won't comment on that. Maybe it's about the same, maybe it's better, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, if women started to being smarter about those who they choose to hook up with, maybe we could solve a lot of problems overnight. You know, try to get into a marriage and try to stay with someone, at least as long as the children are alive, you know? And don't go for the thug. Don't go for the bad boy. Go for someone who's safe. I mean, maybe after the children are out of the house, then go for the bad boy. I don't know, but, you know, we need to be smarter in the choices we make, because the way it's set up right now, no one wants to get married. Men, we're just checking out. It's like, fuck that. I don't want to get married. I don't want to have to give up half of my stuff that I worked hard for just because she decides that she wants to cash in her lottery tickets. Being a woman is a disability. You know, sooner or later, the feminists are going to come up with that excuse. So please don't say that out loud. Oh, Kevin Spacey, thank you. I don't know why I can never remember Kevin Spacey's name. I mean, I should, because, I mean, I love space, and I love the Jetson, and there's Spacely Sprockets in there. And, you know, in Horrible Bosses, Kevin Spacey basically played Spacely Sprockets, so... And this, I need this. And screw Trump for trying to ban it. I think it's just a ploy. I don't think he's actually going to do it, but... Yeah, there's only one gender, male. Everything else is a physical, mental disability. I'm spaced out on Spacey's name. That's funny. And no, there are two genders. One happens to be very, very insane. And then the other is males.
Exactly. I came back with less clothes, so you shouldn't be disappointed.
I'm never disappointed when we talk.
Alrighty. So, are there any final thoughts we want to add to this stream? Anything you wanted to talk about?
Well, I do want to talk about the calendars a little bit.
Okay.
We're still working very diligently on them. Just trying to get it all together. Me and Medusa are just talking about it nonstop, but we're really wanting to go out on a bang on this one, because this will probably be the last one we're doing, because as much as we feel this is important for the movement, it's just a lot more trouble than it's worth. And thankfully, it's our passion, our dedication that keeps us moving forward with this. Plus the fact all of you donated and we have to fulfill orders. I mean, that does play a part in it. So we strongly encourage you to go to the Indiegogo campaign, because once we order those calendars, the Indie campaign closes. And we're only going to be getting enough calendars for what's on the Indiegogo campaign. So if you're hoping to get a calendar after its release, that's not going to happen. And
unless you see me in person.
I mean, there might be a few extra left, but we're talking about how many you can count on a hand.
Yeah, really not that many.
So we strongly encourage you, because there is a portion going to the Movember Foundation. We really want to support that, but in the future, we're probably still going to be trying to do stuff. So, I mean, this isn't the last hurrah for us. It's just this is the last time we're doing a calendar.
Right. And unless we were able to go somewhere, which we already kind of discussed this idea, unless we were able to take all the pictures at once in one sitting at like a conference or con or something, that's probably the only way that we'd be able to give you the product that we want to give you, in the quality that we want you to give you, because it's very difficult to get a bunch of people from around the world together all in one calendar, which is, there's just all kinds of things that go into that. So we want to try other avenues just to make sure that we're doing stuff that is beneficial for the movement and for everybody involved.
Who knows? Maybe if we go to the Sydney men's conference, maybe we can get all the pictures we want. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge, wink, wink.
So, wait, Sydney?
Send us to the conference.
Sydney where?
Sydney, Australia. It's where the next men's conference is going to be.
I don't think I'd ever be able to make it to Australia. That would be amazing, though.
That's why I'm telling all of our wonderful fans, send us.
Yeah, well, see, if we probably, I don't even know what kind of goal we'd have to set for that one.
$1 million.
Yeah, and then we give to all the men's.
No, I would use at least $10,000 to ride a kangaroo.
That's how much it costs to ride a kangaroo?
I don't know, but I'm figuring that's how much they're going to fine me when I break into the zoo and start riding a kangaroo. It's like, sir, you need to pay us $10,000 or you're going to jail.
10,000 is your bail.
Yeah, there we go. Now, it would be great to go to a men's conference. I wish we went to this past one.
I wish we knew about it.
But, I mean, doing a conference is very hard to do. I mean, we talk about how hard it is to do a calendar. I can only imagine how hard it is to do a conference.
Yeah.
And we would love to do our own conference one of these days, but it's just like, I don't know, maybe our future ventures might be more profitable.
Yeah. We're trying. At least we're trying.
Well, yeah, that's very true. A lot of people out there are not trying for one reason or another. And, maybe it's better that a few of us try and the others support us in our efforts.
I mean, I'm not the bravest person in the world, but I'm brave enough to talk about this stuff. So we'll see where that takes me.
Australia is too dangerous. Even the cute animals want to destroy you. Destroy the world. Yeah, be careful of those koalas. I've heard horror stories about those things, especially when they're wet.
What? When they're wet? Oh my god.
If you want to scare yourself, look up wet koala.
Oh, okay. I know what you're talking about. I thought you meant that when they're wet, like something evil happens.
Yeah.
They turn into a gremlin.
A mogwai.
Oh my god. When I'm wet, I turn into Medusa. No, wait. What's the opposite of Medusa?
Sleeping Beauty?
Yeah, that works. So, yeah.
When she gets wet, she turns into a cunt.
Rude. I'm so not inspired by what I'm painting right now because it's really generic, but I'm making it for my sister because I know she'll probably like it. And
are you still talking to your sister?
no, that's it's her birthday. I have to do something.
And your mom's like, well, you should do something nice for your sister. I don't like my sister, but we're family. Do something nice.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Is that how it went down?
I didn't say anything like that. I said, if I have enough money, then I will definitely try to send something. But she's also giving her something for me, apparently, so that also works. I'm also returning some things that she left here. So I hope she enjoys seeing those things again, I guess.
Well, you know what you should buy her is a dildo bat, and then say, "Hey, go suck a dick."
Bro, what? What are you talking about? Oh, nah, I wouldn't do that to my fam, even if they're crazy. But yeah, anyways, I've had a long day full of art and exhausting work. If you want any art or motherfucking photo sets or GIFs or sexy things, I just sold some panties. Let me know. And hit up my DMs on the twats and stuff. Yeah, that's pretty much all my shilling. I don't know why I started shilling automatically, but that's where I went.
Well, you know my spiel. Everything's down below. Got Patreon, PayPal, trying to save up to get actual health insurance. You know, try to get help with my disability, try to pay some of my day-to-day stuff. Appreciate those who do donate to me, and I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but when you got like no money, a little bit seems like a lot. So I appreciate every donation that's given to me. Primarily Ohio Dan. I know he doesn't watch on this channel, but you know he's really helping me out. I don't know. Maybe he doesn't know about it.
Dan the band man. Get up in my clan. Man.
Now, before anyone asks, she's Native American, so she's talking about her Native American clan, not the other clan.
No, I said clam.
Well, I thought you said clan, and I'm like, a white person talking about the clan.
Oh my god, no, that's not what I meant at all. That's hilarious.
But I do ask for help because I am a man and I'm not able to work. I have to give plasma twice a week, and I'm not complaining about that, but it's like I've been doing it for like the better part of 2 years. My body's had enough.
Oh my gosh.
And I want to take a break from it really, really badly, but I need the money I get from that. So I could really use some donations right now. But if you don't want to do that, certainly Patreon has screwed a lot of us over. PayPal, same thing. They've treated me okay, so it's not a real big deal for me. But don't want to do that, consider buying my book, How to Destroy a Woman Now. And I wrote this book not because I hate women. I love women. Obviously, I'm with modern Medusa. I mean, not with her, but we're in proximity. Well, anyways, I wrote this book as a protest because there's another book out there called How to Destroy a Man Now. And there have been some notable feminists who praise this book, even though it contains illegal information. It tells you how to commit defamation, which is illegal. So while my book is not illegal, it is still pretty bad. But I'm hoping that enough people get pissed off with it that they pressure Amazon to take it down. So then we can tell Amazon to take the other book down. And that is my goal. So if you buy that, I do get royalties for every sale. And we also help to take down that filth that's called How to Destroy a Man Now. Or Damn. And Medusa's on the cover.
Yeah, exactly.
And also, like we said, we do still have the calendar on the Indiegogo campaign. Your contribution helps get the calendar together, gets it out there, and also gets some money for the Movember Foundation. And like we said, this is the last calendar we're most likely doing. So this is your chance to get it. And we're going to have, the pictures we have gotten so far are quite amazing. So
yeah, I'm pretty happy. We still need models though. So if you know anyone, tag them or message them and be like, hey, have you tried out for the lovely ladies calendar yet? And if they don't know what it is, be like, these bitches right here. So yeah. Deep turquoise. Can we make a porn together? That depends. How much are you gonna pay me? Because Mama's gotta make her moolah.
No one wants to see me in a porn, no matter how big my dick is.
Okay.
I mean, do you really want to see this belly?
Oh my god. Oh yeah.
Or these nipples?
Ooh, you're getting me all wet. Oh my god.
Yeah, we should do a men's rights porno.
Oh yeah.
I mean, they have feminist porno, so why not?
Dude, that would be really funny. What would we even do? That'd be so funny.
I don't know. I don't know how to do that so it could be in the theme of men's rights.
Yeah, right? Like, how the fuck? Where the fuck did I just put that cap? Put cap in your ass. Alright. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Spicy stream. Thank you.
I believe that's the medical condition my doctor told me why it hurts when I pee. It's spicy stream.
I'm not. I can't. I can't. I'm done. All right. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Buy calendars. Buy his book. Buy my nudes. My photo sets. And I will see you later. What's your email? MonoMedusa@yahoo.com. Why are you asking? All right. Peace, everyone.